The Galactic Research and Medical Institute on Cygnus 12 was a towering testament to technological prowess and scientific ambition. Spanning miles of reinforced metal and glass, the station orbited a luminous blue star that cast reflections along its mirrored surfaces, creating a sense of perpetual daylight. Within these walls, the brightest minds from across the galaxy converged to push the limits of medical science, each more brilliant and renowned than the last. The institute was home to beings who were masters of physiology, biochemistry, xenomedicine, and disciplines that only emerged when countless species met under the common pursuit of knowledge. Among these scientists were the Cerealians, with their semi-translucent, bioluminescent skin that rippled with emotion. The Christics, crystalline beings whose refracted lights served as both communication and expression, stood alongside the chitin-armored Tlari, known for their precise and methodical approach to research. Yet, as advanced as the Institute was, even it had its limits, and today it would meet them. Lieutenant Marcus Hale had been stationed on Cygnus 12 as part of a diplomatic and military exchange program aimed at fostering better understanding between Earth and the Galactic Union. Humans were a recent addition to the interstellar community, known as Deathworlders for their origins on Earth, a planet that seemed to challenge life at every turn with its shifting climates, predators, diseases, and geological instability. While some viewed this with awe, others regarded it with suspicion. Deathworlders were resilient, adaptive, and most of all unpredictable. On this particular day, Hale found himself assisting with research on one of the galaxy's most dangerous biological substances, a toxin known as Death's Whisper. Sourced from a venomous plant indigenous to Firaxis Prime, Death's Whisper was infamous for its potency. It could bind to neural receptors, paralyzing its victims and halting organ function in moments. No antidote existed. The mere mention of it was enough to silence conversations and quicken heartbeats among even the most seasoned scientists. Hale had always found the way other species viewed humans to be a mix of amusement and exasperation. In his own words, "We're either too lucky or too reckless." But as he stood in the high-security lab surrounded by a mix of Christics biochemists and Tlari data analysts, he felt the weight of their expectations. The air buzzed with tension as scientists moved with disciplined urgency, their alien forms shifting through beams of artificial light that cut across the sterile room. Lieutenant Hale, adjust the calibration on the containment field, called Dr. Thalos JYR, the project leader. Thalos was a Cerealian, his bioluminescent skin currently glowing a steady, neutral blue, a sign of focus. Hale nodded, moving to the console where he adjusted the energy field containing a sample of Death's Whisper. Unbeknownst to the team, a subtle error in the containment settings had gone unnoticed. The moment Hale initiated the calibration, a tiny rupture in the field released a microdose of the toxin. A fraction of a second later, alarms blared and containment protocols activated, sealing the lab in a suffocating lockdown. The world seemed to slow as Hale felt a sharp sting at the back of his neck, followed by a rush of heat that spread through his body like wildfire. His vision swam, darkening at the edges, and he gripped the side of the console to stay upright. He registered the shouting around him as if underwater, voices distorted by panic. Dr. Lyria Verne, a Vakri toxicologist with silver, scale-like skin, was the first to reach him. "Hale! Can you hear me?" Her voice was tight, the sheen of her scales shifting to a reflective gray, a sign of acute distress. Hale's response was a groan, but even as he struggled to stay conscious, something unexpected happened. The searing heat began to fade, replaced by a wave of cold that swept through him in rhythmic pulses. His muscles, initially locked in painful tension, loosened, and the haze in his vision cleared just enough to see the astonished faces around him. "He's stabilizing," Lyria said, disbelief coloring her tone as she scanned his vitals on the overhead display. The room fell silent as the data confirmed what no one had dared hope. Hale's heart rate was leveling out, his neural activity steady. Dr. Thalos's blue glow shifted to a bright yellow of intense curiosity. "This is impossible. No known species has ever survived exposure to even a trace of Death's Whisper." Hale blinked, consciousness returning fully as he forced himself upright. "Guess I'm just full of surprises," he managed, a weak smile cracking his pale face. The days that followed were marked by a relentless pursuit for answers. News of Hale's survival spread through the station like wildfire, drawing experts from every wing of the Institute. Speculation abounded. Was it luck? A fluke of genetics? Or was there something deeper, something uniquely human at play? Hale's recovery was swift, another anomaly that confounded the research team. By the second day, he was walking, albeit carefully, through the halls of the Institute. Scientists and medical staff regarded him with a mix of awe and wariness, as if he were a living puzzle. But Hale, for his part, took it in stride. His upbringing on Earth had prepared him for the strange, the painful, and the inexplicable. Dr. Lyria took the lead in dissecting the incident, spending hours poring over data with her team. What they found defied centuries of biological understanding. Hale's blood contained a set of adaptive proteins unlike anything seen before. These proteins had responded to the toxin by mimicking its structure, neutralizing its binding properties before it could complete its deadly course. Unlike most immune systems, which relied on antibodies formed over time and through exposure, the human proteins seemed to act on instinct, altering themselves to match the threat in real time. This changes everything, Lyria whispered during a late-night briefing with Dr. Velos and a contingent of top researchers. The projection of Hale's bio-readings illuminated their faces with a pale blue glow. What we're seeing is an immune system capable of rapid biochemical mimicry. If this can be replicated or even understood, it could revolutionize medicine. Dr. Thalos's glow dimmed as he considered the implications. If human biology can adapt to something as potent as death's whisper, then they may hold the key to breakthroughs we never thought possible. The next phase was clear. Tests, controlled and ethical, needed to be conducted to understand how Hale's immune response functioned. Volunteers from Earth's diplomatic team stepped forward, eager to contribute to the research. Samples were taken, and simulations were run, each new piece of data adding to the mosaic of understanding. Hale became a reluctant hero, a symbol of humanity's indomitable nature. He was interviewed by the Galactic Council's media, his face broadcast across dozens of systems. Questions ranged from the technical to the philosophical. What did this mean for the future of interspecies cooperation? Could the adaptive qualities of human biology be shared, enhanced, or even weaponized? Amid the excitement, voices of caution rose. Dr. Varen, an Andorian biochemist known for her sharp intellect and sharper words, was one of the first to sound the alarm. "We are treading on the edge of a blade," she said during a council meeting. To manipulate or replicate this adaptive response without understanding its long-term effects is to invite catastrophe. Her warning resonated with many. The potential to use human adaptation for warfare was a chilling thought, and the ethics of genetic manipulation weighed heavily on the minds of those involved. Hale found himself at the center of these discussions. One evening, he stood on the observation deck, gazing out at the expanse of stars. The hum of the station and the soft glow of distant galaxies had a calming effect, a stark contrast to the chaos of recent days. Dr. Lyria joined him, her silver scales reflecting the starlight. "Thinking about the future?" she asked, her voice softer than usual. Hale nodded. "Yeah, it's strange, you know? One day you're just doing your job, the next you're the center of something way bigger than yourself." She studied him for a moment. "Your survival has sparked hope but also fear. If we're not careful, this could become something dangerous." "I know," Hale said, his gaze unwavering. "But I believe in what we're doing. If humanity's stubbornness can help others survive, then it's worth it." The research continued with careful oversight. New protocols were developed, ensuring that any experiments remained transparent and focused on medical applications. The first successful trials were conducted on Tlari subjects, whose segmented bodies showed an improved response to known pathogens when exposed to a synthesized version of the human adaptive proteins. The implications were monumental: new treatments for diseases, enhanced recovery methods, and potentially a universal antitoxin. Word spread, turning skepticism into cautious optimism. Aliens who had once viewed humans as reckless now saw them as a vital link in the chain of galactic advancement. The name Marcus Hale became synonymous with resilience, not just for surviving death's whisper, but for the hope that his ordeal brought to countless beings across the stars. But as with any great discovery, challenges remained. Balancing progress with caution, ensuring that the power of adaptation was used wisely, and maintaining trust among species were ongoing struggles. Yet for Hale and the team at Cygnus 12, the journey was just beginning, a testament to the idea that survival was not just about endurance but about the courage to face the unknown and come out stronger on the other side.